Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. Today we are in a mini-series talking all about websites for small business owners, and specifically we're deep diving into whether you should put your pricing on your website or whether you should hide it. This is just one episode out of many, a whole series on the websites, so go check out some of the other episodes that we've got. We're covering all kinds of great information about pages you should have on your site, what those pages like the homepage should have on it, whether you should have an FAQ page. So go check it out so you have the knowledge you need to be able to have a website that's going to propel your business forward. All right, so let's dive in now and talk about pricing. So putting pricing on your website, is it going to help your business or hurt your business? There's different thoughts on this, and depending on the way you want to do business will determine what you should do for your specific website. Now, most business owners want to get more business, but that's sometimes the wrong approach. Instead of more business, we want to get more of the right business. So for your company and for your customers, what is the best approach? Is it putting all the pricing on the site? Is it putting price ranges? Is it hiding it all behind them reaching out and having a conversation? You've got to figure out who your ideal customer is, and you've got to figure out the way you want to do business. And if those two things, the ideal customer and the way you do business, line up, then most likely you're going to have the right answer, and it will be one of the three items I just outlined. Now, we all know that confusion is going to kill conversions. If your pricing is so complicated that there's no way you could build a system that can figure out what the price is going to be for the customer, and even if you could figure it out, trying to have the customer go through your website and figure out what all the different parts and pieces are, if that was just going to confuse them, then it's best to hold back and not put the pricing on the site. If, on the other hand, your pricing is super simple, and it's like going to the grocery store and you just walk in and, oh, here's a gallon of milk, there's the price for the milk, here's the price for the eggs. If it's that simple, then most of the time it makes sense to go ahead and put that pricing right on the website. Many businesses kind of sit somewhere in between, but as a business owner, there's often a fear that we have, and it's a big fear, and it's, what if I put the pricing on my website and my competitors come in and see that, and then they know what my pricing is? So what? So what if your competitors know what your pricing is? If they know, what's it going to do to you? Is it going to hurt you somehow? Are you competing solely on price? Is that really the differentiator that sets you apart? If so, think of it this way. If you're the customer that only cares about price, and this company over here lists their price, this company over here doesn't list their price, which one builds more trust for you? So that's another aspect of how you can think about it, is from the customer's perspective. If they care heavily about the price, putting the prices out there, it may drive a few of them away because maybe your price is a little bit higher than the others. But if your competitors don't put price up and you are putting your prices out there, it's going to make you look transparent. It's going to make you look trustworthy, like you're not trying to hide something or jack the price up depending on who the customer is. I've seen businesses that do all those things, and it's terrible. As a customer, I prefer having some transparency in price. Even if I don't know the exact price, knowing a price range can still be helpful. So let's talk now about price ranges for just a second. You don't have to put the exact price that it's going to be for every single customer. But you could say something like, most of our customers pay between these two numbers. Would that be helpful for your customers? Now, on the other side, let's just say you're a general contractor. How in the world would you know what price is? Materials go up and down. During COVID, for example, the price of materials just went shooting straight up for a while there. It was insane. I know I was buying lumber at 8 times what I normally did for a few projects. Absolutely crazy. And so for a contractor, you can't really put price. But at the same time, the complexity of the project would make it so difficult that you couldn't put price on there anyway. And from a customer perspective, they want to make sure you understand what their project is before you start quoting a price to them. Otherwise, they think you're just tossing numbers anyway. So think again, in your customer's shoes, what is it their expectations are? Would they want to see price? Do they want to talk to you? Do they want to know a price range? It keeps coming back to the customer for a reason. The whole purpose of your website is to help move these customers from being potential customers to customers and from customers to happy customers. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on them and their expectations. All right, so here's some pros of putting pricing on your website. Number one, it's going to filter out the wrong customer. If you have a certain price point for your service and people are looking for your service at a third of that cost, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, you're not going to have them as a happy customer anyway. So it's best to put the pricing right up there and let that push away those wrong customers. I once had a lady call me, and she was an accountant of all things. And everybody knows accountants, when they're filing taxes, oh, $500 for this form, $300 for that form, $800 for that form, and they don't do any work. All they have to do is plug it into their software. The software goes in and fills out all the forms. They look at it, it takes like 10 minutes and they're charging you out the wazoo for this. And she's complaining that my services were too expensive. I literally was giving her the screaming deal that I hadn't given almost anybody. And she's like, oh, that's too expensive. It was way less money than I pay for my taxes each year to get done. And yet she was of the mindset that the service I provided should have been basically free. So I couldn't have done anything to ever appease that lady because of her mindset. If I had had my prices at that point on my website, she would have been able to see that and go away to the companies that were going to give her what she wants at the price she wants, which there isn't any. So I doubt she ever got the job done. Again, a couple benefits. One, it's going to build trust among people. When they come in, they can see what your prices are. They immediately trust you more. And two, it can also weed out those bad leads. Like I just told you the story of the accountant. It can also shorten your sales cycle because they already know what to expect on pricing, so you don't have to have as much of a conversation around that. It's going to eliminate less of the tire kicker people that just wanted to kind of figure out what the market's doing because they don't need to talk to a human anymore. And then the last thing is it can attract the buyers that are ready to act. The people who have seen the price and they're okay with it, they're ready to jump forward to the next step for you. So it's going to, again, attract the right people, push the wrong ones away, shorten the lead cycle, build trust, tons of benefits by putting your pricing on your website. Let's now flip the script for a second and talk about some of the cons of putting the pricing on the website. So one of the first ones that everybody brings up is competitors can undercut you. If you put your pricing on the website, they may drop their price to be right below yours. And again, that may cost you a few jobs if you're selling solely on price. Now, some of your prospects are just going to price shop, and so then it doesn't give you the opportunity to potentially help them see the benefits of working with you. So you're maybe pushing away some potential customers that you could have flipped to actually buy because you put the price on the website. So again, think about the kind of customers you want to do business with, think about the way they think, and help make that determination whether it's a pro or a con, putting the pricing there. Another one is it can scare customers away if they don't understand what needs to be done. And so the price looks really big and they don't understand that there's a lot of work that goes into the service you're providing. Another con of putting pricing up is, we talked about it before, if it's super difficult to try and price out your custom work, that can be a real inconvenience to try and figure out a way to put the pricing on the website. So if you're not comfortable putting the exact price on the website, but you still want some information on there, here's a few ideas for you. You can have a starting at price. Now they know the absolute minimum that you're going to charge for that service. Or you can put some generalized pricing on there. So if you're a carpet cleaner, maybe you just say typically $50 per room if you don't want to put the full actual price of the service on there. And then often with the carpet cleaning, you have all kinds of other upsells that can happen. You get to the job site and you find out that you have all these things, like there's some stretching that needs to be done, or maybe there's a repair that needs to be done, or maybe there's some stains in the carpet, all these things, the extra treatments. You can't figure that out and put it on your website, but you could put on there some starting at or typically price per room kind of pricing on the site. That way people have a sense that they can trust you, but they don't know the exact number. Another thing you can do is you can put some pre-built packages on the site and then have the space for the custom reach out to us. And if you do a lot of custom, the pre-built packages help set the customer's mindset around what it might look like working with you. And then when they come in for custom, they can have a bit of an idea what to expect when they're actually going to have a quote come back from your company. Again, you can have a ballpark estimator where it can get them into the range where if, for example, you're doing a roof and and their average cost is based on the square footage of the house, you could just say something like, if you know the slope of your roof and the average square foot of your house, here's the price range we expect it to be in. And something like that could work to help them get an idea of what to expect for a job like yours to be done by your company. Now the next question is, do we have a dedicated pricing page, or should we just have the pricing on the services pages? It depends on how many different services that you're providing. Oftentimes it can get a little bit confusing for customers to try and hunt down pricing. Plus, it's really cool for the people who are looking for it to see pricing right up there in the header. They can click on it and it goes to the pricing page. So usually I'm a fan of having a page dedicated for pricing on your website so that people can find it quickly and they'll be able to navigate there and see all the details regarding the price right in one location. So you can put it on individual pages, and sometimes if it's simple enough, maybe you just have 3 options. You can put that right on the home page so that they can find it as soon as they land on the site if that's important to your customers. But again, think about the customer journey, think about what they want, how they're going to move from, do I want to do business with them, to trusting them, to really wanting to do business bad enough that they're willing to pick up the phone or send you a message. So think about that flow and think about where it makes sense to put the pricing on there. If you, for example, have a landing page and you're trying to get people to do business with you, it may make sense to put some semblance of pricing on that landing page so that the people who have come in from an ad are going to be able to see that pricing. Or exact opposite, maybe the customers need to have a strong relationship first before you present pricing. Think about that and let that guide your decisions. All right, in conclusion, sometimes it makes sense to put the actual price, sometimes it makes sense to put no price, and sometimes it makes sense to put ballparks, estimators, rough guess kind of pricing on there so that they know the range of what to expect. The secret to being able to do pricing effectively is get inside the mind of your customer, think like they're going to think, and then put the pricing in the way they would want, the way they'd expect, where they'd expect it, how they'd expect it. And I bet your website will start generating more quality leads for you.